Hey friends, welcome back to Freedom Homestead. I'm Tangi and welcome back to Wellness Wednesday.
What makes your garden grow? Water and sunshine. What makes your spirit grow? Knowing that you'll be mine.
Thank you guys so much for joining me today. This has been a long time coming. If you are not familiar with Wellness Wednesday, I have a whole playlist showing you my journey that I started back in 2019 to get fit before I turned 40. Well, my 40th birthday has come and gone. The world was hit with a pandemic. I derailed, I lost focus, and here I am back at square one. So again, I want to welcome you, and I really hope that this series does a couple of different things. One is I'm hoping that it keeps me accountable and that it keeps me on track. And two, I hope that it motivates and inspires you. So let's get started. So I guess really I have to go back to when everything fell off track. I had been doing really well with my keto journey and was working out and doing all of these things. I took a short break, and then the short break turned into a worldwide pandemic. And instead of going to the store and buying things that were on plan for me, we were eating a lot out of food storage, which I'm sure a lot of you were too. And since I failed in making sure that my pantry was stocked with keto-friendly foods, I was eating pastas and legumes and rice and breads. And this whole thing has been happening since March, and I just never got back on track. So like a lot of you, I have put a lot of weight back on. Plus my hours at work have changed. I went from being an independent contractor working 20-ish hours a week to now I am a full-time salary employee, and I am working 8 hours a week. So I am sitting at a desk. So on top of eating off plan and being a lot more sedentary than usual, those 20 something pounds have just all found its way back onto me. So anyway, that's why we are starting back on Wellness Wednesdays, because I am back on track, and I am determined. I am not going to give up. So this is really what I want to talk about. My cousin Tashana, hey Tashana, is a personal trainer, and she works with women. And her love is helping women who are pregnant or who have had a child. And one of the things that she said that I never really thought about was, once you've had a child, you will always be postpartum. And you guys know, whether you carried a child full term or whether you carried a child for a short while, once your body has experienced that, it's not the same. There are muscles that you have that have weakened. There are bones that you've had that have possibly moved. So it's really cool working with her, because she really focuses on a woman's body, and so that has really been great. But talking about her, really what I think really got to me, I had already hired her services because I knew, I needed to do something, especially with sitting 8 hours a day. If you have a desk job, you know the toll that it takes on your body and how it can weaken your core, and the strain it puts on your back and your hips and your knees and all of these other things. So I had already decided to work with her, and really didn't want to talk about restarting with you all, because you all have been with me for so long that you've seen me lose and gain 20 some odd pounds a few times over the last few years. And it was kind of embarrassing, and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I don't embarrass easily. I like to think that I'm transparent, but I don't like starting and stopping and starting and stopping and then having to tell people, yeah, I'm at it again, because you know, it can get tiring and it just sounds like a broken record and like, who's gonna believe you? You know, that's kind of what was going through my head. But Tashana posted something on Instagram and it just really kind of made me feel bold. And so here's what she shared, and I really hope this helps you too, especially if you're like me and you struggle. This is a struggle and it will always be a struggle. But here's what it said. It said, reset, refocus, readjust, restart as many times as you need to. And then her comment under that was, just keep going. And man, that got to me. That was like, I don't need to give up. What am I doing? I don't need to give up. I just need to get right back in there. Who cares if it's been 8 months? I need to get back in there because my health is that important. My future with my family is that important. So I'm like, I owe it to myself and I owe it to my family to just keep going, not giving up. And so I thought, you know what? By golly, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I'm resetting, I'm readjusting, I'm refocusing, and I'm restarting. So here we are, Wellness Wednesday, the accountability, the encouragement, and really the online diary of this, because I went back and watched some of my old videos and they helped me tremendously. So if no one else gets anything out of this, I know that I will go back and watch these videos and it will help me remember why I'm in the struggle, and it will help me remember what I've done that has worked and what has not worked. Let me just tell you where I'm starting, what my baseline is, okay? If you want to know what I weighed at before and all of that stuff, you can go back and watch the old Wellness Wednesday videos. But where I'm starting at now, I weighed myself on December 1st. And that number was 200.4. And that week I decided that I was going to go ahead and start with doing lazy dirty keto, which means I just keep up with my carbohydrates and I don't focus so much on the quality of the food. I just try to stay within my carbohydrate macros, which is 20 net carbs for those of you who aren't familiar with it. So that first week was when I started, but a couple of days after that, we went on a trip and I decided that I wasn't going to have the stress of trying to find foods on the road that I can have, or put the stress on our hosts of making sure that there was food that I can eat. So I just didn't worry about it. But when we got home that following Sunday, we got home Sunday night, and then that Monday I started hardcore. I didn't weigh myself again, so I'm pretty sure I was a little over 200 just because, you know, traveling and eating fast food and all that stuff. So, but we're gonna use the 200.4 as my baseline. And then, so Monday on the, what day was that? The 7th? Yes, Monday the 7th is when I really dug my heels in. So what I'm doing is I am doing dirty keto. I am keeping up with my macros, but dirty keto just means that, like, I have sugar-free creamer. The creamer that I use is the International Delight brand because it is sweetened with sucralose and not aspartame. Not that sucralose is better than aspartame, but I can't have aspartame. I have aches and pains after I have that. Sucralose does not bother me. You know, I do the dirty creamer, I do the sugar-free creamer. I have some of, you know, keto-friendly treats, you know, prepackaged treats and that kind of stuff. And I plan on doing it this way until I get over the hump. I remember last year whenever I was doing, when I started keto, I did dirty keto starting out of the gate. And then once I got the hang of it, then I was confident enough to switch over into clean keto. And maybe that doesn't make sense to you, and that's fine. You can do clean keto if you want to. I'm just gonna do what works for me. You do what works for you. But I am, like I said, I am keeping up with my macros. But again, I remember the last time I did it, I kept up with my macros until I could look at a plate and know what it was supposed to look like. So I'm keeping up with my macros just to, again, refocus and remember what a portion of this looks like and what a portion of that looks like and what I should have in a day. Okay, so I am doing dirty keto and I am working out with Tashana. So I'm going to leave her information in the description box. She works virtually with all of her clients, and she's very, very affordable, and she works with women only. So if you are interested in seeing what Tashana can do for you, then check out her link. She does have a contact form on her website, and she would love to hear from you and give you a consultation. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. She has me doing resistance training a few times a week and then cardio a few times a week. But what's awesome is she works with whatever you have at home, which means if it's nothing, she'll help you find things around the house that you can work out with. I do have some workout gear, so she has incorporated some of those into my workout routines. And then my cardio, y'all, is walking the perimeter of my basement on ugly days and walking outside for 30 minutes on nice days. I mean, that's awesome. Yeah, and it's working out really well. And again, because she is so in tune and her focus is on healing women postpartum or strengthening them during the prenatal time in their lives. She has given me pelvic floor exercises. She's also, I was telling her that I don't like doing lunges because it really hurts my legs. And so she said, where on your leg does it hurt? And she sent me a picture of the muscle groups at the tops of the legs, and I circled what was hurting, and she pinpointed, y'all, listen, that for my entire 40 years of life, I have been sitting wrong. She said, the way I sit, I lead with my knees and not with my knees and my behind at the same time. And so every time I sit, I basically injure my muscles in that area. So she actually, part of my routine is sitting. It sounds elementary, but you guys, I cannot tell you what a huge difference it makes, because if I sit the way I normally sit, my knees will crunch when I sit. They always have. When I sit the way she has told me to sit, they don't crunch. So you can decide whether or not that means anything to you, but for me, that is a huge, huge deal. Okay, so dirty keto and working out with Tashana 6 days a week. Sundays I take off. And yeah, so now let's get into how my week went. Okay, so I always do the week before, and last week was fantastic. I cannot tell you, again, it was my first full week with my heels dug in. I didn't work out as consistently as I wanted to last week, but I did great with my eating. I was totally 100% on plan. I stayed within my carb macros. I didn't do so great. You know, I'm still trying to figure it out. So some days my fats were really high and some days my proteins were really high. So, but I tried to stay within my 20 net carb range, and I did, and I feel fantastic. Where I am struggling is I am struggling to remember to take supplements, and I know I can do better about that, whether it's like putting it in my planner or whatever. That's just something I need to personally work on, remembering to take my magnesium, remember to make my keto raid, make sure I'm getting my electrolytes, and make sure I'm taking my fiber. That is like huge. And what I've been trying to do is take my fiber at lunch and take my magnesium at night. And so that way, hopefully it will keep me regular. And the magnesium is also supposed to help you sleep better at night. Not that I ever really need that, need that help, but you know, that's why I wanted to take my magnesium at night, is because it's supposed to help you sleep better. So within the week, I can already tell that I have lost a bunch of inflammation. My energy is like crazy. I am just so pumped and relieved. My mental clarity is back, which is great because my job requires me to use my brain. And I told my husband, it was like a few days in when I noticed the fog lifted, and I told him, I was like, have I mentioned how much I love keto? Because I like, in my work planner, you know, I have all the things that I need to do, and then I highlight them as I go. And I mean, I was staying on top of it. I was doling out contracts and doing all of my contacts, and it was awesome. So anyway, for anything, I mean, just for me, keto helps me with my work performance, because I am able to think clearly and stay on top of everything that I need to stay on top of. So anyway, that is like super, super awesome. Okay, so with staying on track with my food and with feeling great, mental clarity, getting fat adapted, how did that affect the scale? Okay, so I started off at 200.4. The very next Monday, I was 193. Yeah, 193.6. So I lost what? Almost 7 pounds, you guys. 7 pounds in 1 week, and I know it is 100% inflammation. So yeah, that was pretty darn motivating. I am very, very excited. Going forward, I plan on staying track with my macros, and I need to work on being more consistent with my supplements and being more consistent with my workouts. And Tashana is keeping me accountable. So every morning after I work out, I have an Apple Watch, and there's a fitness app on there. So I plug in what kind of workout I'm doing. It records my heart rate, the duration of the workout, how many calories were burned, as well as the time of the day that you work out. And so I am able to screenshot that to her and then send it to her for my accountability. So she only does that if you need it, and I absolutely need it. So I didn't mind sending that to her. I actually got up early this morning. I got up at 5:15 to make sure that I had my workout in and a shower before I had to report to my desk. So yeah, so that is what I plan on doing going forward. And I am just so excited, you guys. And I'm really glad that whenever I told y'all that I was bringing this back, you were gung-ho. You guys were really excited for me, and for that I am super grateful. So don't forget to check the description box for Tashana's link to her website, as well as the link to the Wellness Wednesday playlist if you want to go back and see the journey so far. That's all I've got for you guys today. Until next time, remember to be vigilant, be prayerful, and be prepared. Let me know in the comment section if you are starting a journey, if you're in the journey. Yeah, we can do this together. So until next time.